Hi flute players and other freelance musicians. In this video, I want to expand a little bit more on the concept of versatility. I've mentioned that as a really important skill you need to have, or kind of like a mindset even, to have a long-lasting career as a freelancer specifically. And as I just started this video, I realized, I need to have a flute in my hands to, legitimize my video. So I just grabbed this E-flat flute. So if you're wondering, yeah, it's an E-flat flute. Anyways, so versatility, that means a few things. So first of all, the most maybe obvious one is you need to be versatile in playing other instruments within the flute family. Or if you're a clarinet player, you need to be able to own and operate, a bass clarinet, a clarinet, whatever. This goes for all the instruments. So for flute, you're expected to be able to cover recorder parts, like piccolo, of course, alto flute, bass flute, things like tin whistle, anything that like that very often is within a flute part. And when you find that in your part, you're just expected to cover it. You can't say to the person who hired you, oh, there's bass flute, I don't know how to play bass flute, or I don't own a bass flute. You would never say that, because the contractor is like, so can you not do the gig, or what do you, they don't care. That's for you to figure out. So as a freelancer, you go find yourself a bass flute to borrow or whatever. If you're a full-time orchestra person, the orchestra itself will rent out. They take care of all that stuff for you. You don't have to own those things. Your mindset just needs to be flexible, and you just need to be self-sufficient. As a freelancer, you need to, as I've said many times before in various videos, as a freelancer, you say yes to a gig and you figure it out. Another example of being versatile is accepting non-playing gigs, which I would call opportunities. So when you just get out of music school, I think a lot of people have the false impression that they're just going to be doing music. It's highly unlikely that as an orchestral flute player, you're going to make a living doing that. When opportunities come to you for things that are music related, but they're not playing, you need to take them. That really worked well for me, reflecting back. So for things like, I got called last minute, everything's last minute in freelance world, but last minute to teach a music history class at a community college because the teacher got stuck in Europe. I forget the story. And in my mind, I thought, I can't do that. I have not the first idea. But the freelancer in me just said, yes, absolutely, I will do it. And those first couple years, especially that first day of teaching this class, a classroom, I had 30 or 35 kids in this class, or college kids in this class. I had no idea what I was doing, and I'm sure it was very cringy, but I did it. And then I lasted 15 years, and I felt like through that time, I learned so much. Not only did I learn how to manage a classroom, how to teach, but I also learned what your average college kid knows about, well, anything, but especially music. Like, you come out of music school and you think people have a base understanding of musical things. No, they don't know the first thing. They don't know the sound of a trumpet versus a snare drum, and I'm not being over dramatic. So there's the classroom teaching, of course, private students. You want to try to get private students, but also I've encountered having to do or accepting jobs like directing a handbell choir at a church. Again, do I know anything about handbells? Nope. Do I know how to even conduct? No. Is it within the realm of my possibilities that I can figure it out? Yes. So I took the opportunity, and I had to actually learn how to do handbells. And as being the conductor, I had to act like I knew what I was doing. Looking back, it was such a great experience in working with, non-music people in a musical setting and getting them to play music. And then just the actual technicalities of actually ringing handbells. I learned so much, and I actually ended up doing this duet with somebody for some recital where you have multiple handbells in your hands. And it was just a crazy thing that I would have never otherwise encountered or had that experience if I was just like, no, I just play flute. That's all I do. I think one thing to remember with all my ramblings of my various stories is that all opportunities are connected. So when you take all these non-playing music opportunities, it's going to come back around to be beneficial for you in some way or other. So I wouldn't never think that it's a waste of your time possibly or something like that. Lastly, with this topic of versatility, when I reflect back on things that helped me have a long lasting freelance career, is being willing to jump at uncomfortable gigs. Like you're going to be called last minute to sight read a concert or something like that, or sight read a rehearsal. You know, your first instinct is you don't want to sound bad. You're going to find yourself in a situation where you're sitting in this chair and you've had little to no time to look at the part. You maybe haven't even played your flute for 2, 3 or more days because you've been doing handbell choir or like whatever else, all these other things. But you just have to take it. You have to take it. That's your chance. Having said that though, you do absolutely have to be a solid sight reader. And that's a topic for another video altogether. An example of this would be like I was playing in the pit for some opera at Lyric. What were we playing? Not Wojciech, but like Electra, Strauss's Electra. And big, massive, complicated opera. All the winds have individual parts. I was playing second flute. The third flute person called in sick, or I don't know what happened. So my friend, a good friend, freelancer in Chicago, she got called. She got herself down there into the pit within a few hours, and she sight read the performance. It's almost like you have to become supernatural. She did an amazing job, and no one would know that she was sight reading. So you've got to, and because she is an incredible sight reader, excellent rhythm, you know, she's able to do that. Another example of how this can happen is I was just talking with a friend of mine in Milwaukee, reflecting back on the Nutcracker season that the Milwaukee Ballet just did. I used to play in the Milwaukee Ballet. There was a clarinet future sub that was just observing in the pit. So you just observe, you're going to be playing on future performances as a sub. So you're all dressed in black and you just sit off to the side down in the pit and you observe. But right before the downbeat, the regular clarinet player tested positive for COVID. And so that sub, who was not planning on playing, I think was given a clarinet, assembled it. She's already wearing black. And there she goes. There's her first Nutcracker experience, which is how it always happens with Nutcracker. Your first time playing a Nutcracker is going to be something like that. So anyway, yes, that is all being versatile. So having gone over these different examples of ways to be versatile that will definitely benefit you as a freelancer, and really, you can't be a freelancer for very long without these skills. And they're really just life skills. It's basically just like, you have to be able to go with the flow and take opportunities and being comfortable in uncomfortable situations. Those are skills that will transfer to all kinds of things in life. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit subscribe, and then you will be in the loop for future videos just like this one, going over all kinds of issues dealing with being a freelancer. And if you want to share any of your own freelancing stories where you had to do something, you know, something similar to the examples I was giving, feel free to put that down in the comment section. I feel that it's really important for people starting out as a career in music to see real examples of what their life is probably going to be like as a freelancer. Thanks for watching, and I will see you at the next video.